Hello, my friends. I want to thank you for your overwhelming support and interest in watching the review that I did of Surviving Mars. It is now currently at just barely switched off of the browser. It is at 4,500 views, and it looks like it is just trucking along, headed for 5,000 views. That is the highest view count that I have to date on any of my views. I think the second place winner right now is the second most watched video right now on my channel is the HD screen review that I did a little while ago. I still have that. See, this thing. It is a really cool device, and if you haven't seen the review, you should go check it out. But just like I said in the description today, this is going to be a Let's Play. During the Christmas season, found a coupon for Green Planet, and that is an add-on I've been interested in giving a try, and so I bought that, and before I even played it, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna finally cross the bridge, and I'm gonna do a Let's Play. While this Let's Play is going to be just a little bit of a trimmed down Let's Play, because I actually recorded like 2 hours of footage, I did not want to put you guys through that. So let's dive into the Let's Play and start this, and so let's get started. I have set up here, you can pause to look at what I chose. I'm not going to bore you with that. I also made a few modifications to what I was going to bring with me, and this is where I chose to plant myself on the planet, and I'm hoping that it will give us a good start. It has very little catastrophes looking like it. It will have a lot of dust storms, but whatever. As per usual, you get greeted with the usual start screen that says, everybody's excited for this, let's get started. We are also reminded, or given the first time to see, if we were on random, our sponsor. I always pause the game at this point to make sure that I have an opportunity to look at the map and decide if I want to land where I'm going to land. It looks like that's a good place to go, so I'm going to go with it. I typically choose plateaus to go on. I think it makes the dust storms a little bit less dire, and so this seems like a really good place to get started. Before unpausing, I will also make sure that I set up my initial search of the areas around me just to prevent lost time on discovering the whole map. I need to also make sure that before I go and research or take a look at these anomalies that are nearby, I want to make sure that I set up research in the research tab to make sure that if they do provide me with any research bonus, that I will collect that research bonus instead of it just disappearing instantly. So before I send my rover off to get that, that's exactly what I'm going to do. It fascinates me how this game can use up so much time without it feeling like it uses up so much time. Just recording this episode was over 2 hours worth of footage. And would you look at that? My base is partially set up. We've got some basic things going on. We're getting fuel to the main rocket. I'm already considering purchasing more stuff because I've run out of some of the materials, and I'm starting to recognize that I'm going to have troubles getting some other materials until I get some people here to help mine the metals and other stuff. But what we are going to work on from here is I'm going to start laying out the land work to dig out a ramp so that I can get off this plateau and explore the rest of the map, as well as expand on the Green Planet concept and start working on getting some atmosphere and other stuff going on. Doing a ramp like this produces a lot of waste rock, but apparently the Green Planet series actually makes use of waste rock to produce more greenhouse gases. So this could be beneficial for us in the long run. I realized that I did kind of a noob mistake here. I placed that rocket in the middle of my facility, and when that rocket takes off, just about everything around it is going to break and cost me materials. And when I put that 2 and 2 together, I was like, man, really, did I do that? So, whatever. Well, let's move on from that. I will eventually clean this area up and get everything running at full potential. But for now, I have to accept the fact that I basically set myself up for failure on that particular moment. Looking at the map here, I wanted to try out one of these first planetary, missions that will further the storyline. And this looks like it will, doing these greenhouse gases thing will actually help start the ball rolling for producing atmosphere and getting some of those greenhouse gases into place and whatnot. But it does come at a cost. I do have the risk of acid rain raining down and hurting the soil quality. And oh wow, we got an event. This looks like, oh yeah, research cooperation. This will be interesting. It says a new deep space telescope will be launched to scan the cosmos from a point even further out than Mars. The company behind the telescope, Lambda Industries, has partnered with our sponsor to share the financial burden of the deep space launch. Our sponsor, not one to waste an opportunity to help their most ambitious project, says the splitting of the launch bill will basically pay for a single supply pod that they can fill with cargo of our choosing. What would we pick? So we could choose some help with sector scanning, some 10 orbital probes. We could get a little bit of these. These would be useful. But this RC transport, I think that would be very useful too. So after consideration, I think that we'll do the RC transport. And that arrived immediately. Wow. Okay. So we'll let that come down and let's move on. Putting this RCU transport to work, this will definitely help us collect a lot of the resources in the immediate area, and until the ramp is done, we'll be basically stuck at that. But it will, the beauty of the RCU transport, well, you kind of have to micromanage it because it only does one load and then it unloads and it's like, okay, I'm done. This is a really good thing. Later on, we might be able to get the research that will allow us to make these autonomous, and you basically say, okay, RC transport, go pick up everything, and it will rove over the entire map, and when it fills up, it comes back, it drops off everything, and then it roves over the map again. It's really awesome when it starts doing that. Even the research that you can get from scanning anomalies with the science rover that we got here, that'll be helpful in the future too. But for now, most of it is just hands-on. You got to pay attention to it, and that's kind of the way they built the game to be progressive. They want you to have to work through stuff, and then as you gain more automation, you're able to work on more advanced things, and I think it helps progress the game in a really good way. Looking at things as they are, it appears that our transport or cargo ship has arrived, and we are going to land that here in just a second and take advantage of the landscaper that we ordered with this particular cargo rocket. And the extra materials that the cargo rocket has, it will definitely help out because we need those materials right now. We're desperate for materials like polymers and electronics, and especially the machine parts, because things are going to start breaking down here, especially with the dust. Bringing that down, we will send that excavator over to start working on the ramp and see what it does. I've never used this before, so I'm excited to get this thing rolling. And let's see what happens. Holy cow, it has a capacity of 85. Wow, it will actually pick up the waste rock and just hold on to it and then go deposit it in mass. This is a game changer. This will make landscaping really fun, even though probably because of the fact that it takes up drones to do landscaping normally, I have avoided doing landscaping in mass in this game because of the fact that it takes so long to do. But if that one rover, it looks like it's autonomous, it doesn't require power, it doesn't need to recharge, it doesn't even need the perimeter of a drone hub, that could be very useful. So I wanted to get this rocket. I already set up, I don't know if you noticed, but I went into planetary view and I actually told this rocket, I want you to go collect the greenhouse gases. So we are gearing up for that. It requires a little bit more fuel, which I could not believe it needed 30 more fuel. But, we'll work through that. And when that launches, that'll quite literally be the kickoff of our actual green planet start. It does have a high risk that we'll have acid rain, and you saw me just barely check to see, can I build any of these inside buildings outside? No, it won't let us build any of the hydroponic stuff outside yet. But I thought it might work. You never know. Moving on from that, I don't know what to expect with acid rain. So I have decided that for the most part, I'm going to try to just kind of back off from putting any of the Green Planet stuff down, and I'm going to not finish very many more buildings until I can get that thing launched. So let's skip ahead to that. So the drones are loading up the last bits of fuel for this launch, and we will see just what type of damage this thing taking off will cause us. I wanted to see if I could get all the drones to hide. And, oh man, it looks like we almost destroyed one of those drones. He just took on damage. He did not get destroyed, I don't think. Looks like, oh, yeah, that drone right there is going to repair him. He might be salvaged. Yes, he's salvaged. Yes! That means we didn't lose a drone during that launch. We might have caused a little bit of an unnecessary repair and a loss of some metals, but we're going to have to just deal with that. We've got plenty of game to go. This gives me the opportunity to lay out this main pipeline between the first two drone hubs the way I wanted to do it, and so I will get that done, and let's see what happens when that rain, if that rain comes. Let's see what happens. I'm going to cut ahead to that, so we'll be right back. During this last cutscene, we went through a dust storm, and for some inexplicable reason, I had no power. Oh, it's raining. The lack of power caused me to not be able to build anything or make any adjustments. Oh, here it will import greenhouse gases. Just a few of the falling rocks delivered by autonomous crafts from Earth were visible to the naked eye. But a large-scale project has been completed today. Several hundred tons of rocks used to suck out and store greenhouse gases from the atmosphere on Earth have been delivered to the surface of Mars. Oh, that's why we needed the extra fuel. By crash landing them all over the planet, we have triggered a chemical reaction that dissolves the rocks and contributes towards thickening the Martian atmosphere and unleashing the stored gases. Oh, good. This is excellent. Even if it comes with acid rain. I'm not entirely sure what to think about that. But, oh, look at this. Oh, is that algae? That would be really awesome if that's algae. We'll take a look at this. And look, oh, down there. Oh, this is why I like being on plateaus. The musty green. This is even kind of darkish brown when there's a dust storm. I really don't like being down there. And I like the visual effect of having a more clear area to work with. And so I like being on the plateaus as a result. In preparation for our ramp to be finished, I'm trying to find out what the land is like down there, and we are, oh, look at that, we completed one of the first new special project or milestones of the game. That's pretty cool. So taking a look at this, there are, oh wow, there's a lot more things to do, and now it's all related to the terraforming. Although, I don't know, does acid rain count as rainfall? Why didn't that count? Interesting. Well, let's see what's going on around here. We've got a couple of these piles of green, and I don't know what to do with them yet. So I'm going to do some research over the next week, and we'll see what to do about these acid pools, because that just does not look good. They turn out to be acid pool, or toxic pools, not acid pools. Toxic pools. My bad. I should have just read the quote or the description up in the top right. Can't be cleared during toxic rain. So it has to be cleared. Oh, yeah, I guess I got to use drones to clear it out. Well, okay, that's not bad. I should be able to clear that out. And then I will in the next episode I will probably start doing some of the terraforming stuff that I have some prefabs for, and we will continue getting the research to be able to do more terraforming-based items. And we might very well finish that dome and get things moving towards the logic of getting some people here so we can speed up the overall terraforming of this beautiful red planet, which will no longer be red after this. Essentially, I have started destroying the red of the red planet. Interesting. With all that being said, I am glad that you guys watched this video. I think that we are getting off to a good start on this level. At least right now, I don't foresee anything that's going to superly go wrong and cause us to crash and burn, so to speak. But this game is kind of brutal in the fact that you survive or not. So I'm hoping that with future Let's Plays, we will be able to get further along. I am purposefully holding off on actually playing the level until I am recording. So we'll see what happens as it gets caught on tape. Yes, I'm not entirely sure how to do Let's Plays, especially full-on Let's Plays where we are getting everything on camera. I think it probably will be nicer to progress in larger gaps by cutting out some of the slower parts, because this game definitely has its slow parts. I'm not gonna lie, this game takes a little bit of patience to play, but simultaneously, because it does take a little bit of patience to play, it ends up being a rather zen-like game. It is calming, and it in general, when events aren't happening and stuff, it will be a pretty smooth and enjoyable game to have. And with this added challenge of trying to get the atmosphere and increase the magnetosphere of the planet so it will hold on to the atmosphere, and getting plants started and oxygen, and maybe having running water or a little lake or more on the surface of the planet. This is going to be an interesting challenge, and it might take a while. So a condensed Let's Play might be more merited for this one, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. That's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you for joining me. This is awesome for me to be able to share with my friends some gameplay of a game that I have a lot of respect for. So have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.